Welcome! Here's your bubbly and beautiful host, Elizabeth. It's the Caffeinated Cooper Show.
Yeah, I believe in you. I don't believe in lucky sevens. I'm not sure about Loch Ness, but I know I believe in angels. I believe in happy.
Oh, thank you to my friend Justin Peters of Platinum Planet Records for creating that intro. We've had it for so many years, and I absolutely love it. Every single time. And we are at episode 303. However, it's 165 interview episodes. So every time I listen to it, even though it's been like a long time, I love it. I don't want to change it, right? When you have something so great and so magical, you just want to hold on to it, and it's timeless. All right, everybody, I have a great show for you this afternoon, but first let's talk about the sponsor. And the sponsor today, I have so many yummy things. I'm trying to figure out which direction do I go? Do I bring up their information? Yes, of course. I believe we need that. It is Honey Stinger. I am from the Northeast. Does anybody have the same problem as I do? When I moved to the South, it was very hard discerning between regular words and words with a heavy, heavy accent, right? So I do this, My Fair Lady thing, the rain in Spain, and Honey Stinger should be Honey Stinga, but it's not. But even where I grew up in New Jersey, it still wouldn't be Stinga, but for me, it is. There's just some things. Maybe I had a lisp as a kid or something. I don't know. Honey Stinger. It is so, so yummy. And I take these to the gym. Let me show you. They are energy chews. It has a little bit of caffeine. And it's like just, a gummy chew. But it has such a nice natural flavor to it because it has honey in it. And it does have natural flavoring. So, Honey Stinger, let's go straight to the website. Why don't we do something a little bit different? All right. Let's take a look at this website here. So I found the store locator, and that's not what I want. That's not like very sexy to show you guys, right? Let's take a look at some of their products. But going back to the point of the store locator, they've expanded. I was at the grocery store recently, and I look over and I'm like, oh my gosh, that's so cool. That's a full display for Honey Stinger. And look, they have granola bars now. They have all types of products. When they first started, it was the stroop waffles, and it was the gummies, and it was the energy gel. So this right here, this is so great. If you're a long distance cycler, you definitely want to try that. But if you go over to their website, it is honeystinger.com. So that is www.honeystinger.com. You can take a look at some of these great stocking stuffers, right? Don't want to say it too loud because in my house, even though some of my kids are grown and out of the house, you got to believe or Santa doesn't bring you anything. But it would be great for that. And it would be great for your gym bag. So the strawberry, kiwi, and chocolate gels, they have 32 milligrams of caffeine. So these are the gels. And the caffeine is sourced from green tea extract. The ginseng gels have 32 milligrams of caffeine from the kola nut extract. They've got great new flavors. Like I said, you've just got to go check them out. And you can get them at Kroger, Walmart, Amazon, Vitamin Shop, REI, Target, and Sprouts, and so much more. All right. So today I have a really interesting fellow on the broadcast with us, and he has a great movie that him and his partner, but writer, right? So there is a gentleman named Arik Garcia. He is not connected with us today. He was planned to be, but he has had a family emergency. We are praying for him, and we hope that he has the very, very best Thanksgiving holiday. But I would like to introduce Dustin Klingen. So Dustin Klingen is actor, producer, director. And him and his writer, Arik Garcia, they came together to create Abaddon, the King of the Locusts. Now, this movie is set to release in 2023. The film is a horror mystery, and it's about an ancient and sinister cult responsible for the disappearance of many young adults that is tracked and brought down by the twin sister of their latest victim. The film has already won 7 awards in 2022. The award-winning film was celebrated and awarded at the Accolade Competition, Athens International Monthly Art Film Festival, Future of Film Awards, Hollywood Blood Horror Festival, Madrid International Movie Awards, Rome International Movie Awards, and Thrills and Chills Film Awards. The film is set to release to the public in 2023. And without any further ado, let's say hi to Dustin. How are you doing today?
I'm doing well, thank you.
You're very welcome. Thank you so much for having time to come on to the show. It really excites us to hear about a new film project. And so many of these things are coming out in different ways now. For several years now, it was all streaming. But some of these are coming out in the theaters. And I want to start with that for just a moment before we even start talking about the movie. How will this be released in 2023? Just so everybody can take that note down.
Well, our goal is to get it released in theaters, theatrical everywhere worldwide. That's our goal, and that's what we're hoping for.
So theaters, theaters have been quite an interesting little hairy monster for the past couple of years. Because as we know, things were shut down. People weren't allowed to go out to their usual places. And, in doing just some quick research, it's so interesting because if you look at theaters, so they've had a 28% decline, right, for theater viewership. But then you look at streaming. So May of this year, which was a totally different climate than what we're in right now, there were, I don't know, one of these websites, I think it's a little high. It says 93% of Americans are looking to expand their subscriptions to streaming. And then all of a sudden, August, September, October hit, and it's gone the other way. People are canceling their subscriptions. So what made you decide to definitely put it in a theater for theatrical release?
I think a lot of films are meant to see in theaters theatrically. And this is one of them. I think a lot of these independent kind of movies or these smaller budgets, like the Invitation and those types of movies that you wouldn't think would be in theaters, are actually doing very well. And Smile really, showed that. And I think Abaddon is really going to do that and probably outdo both of those, in my guess. But I think in general, this movie would be meant to be in theaters than Netflix. I mean, eventually they go to Netflix, right? Like everything else does. But we really want to put this out in theaters where everybody can see it and not just limited amount.
I love that. I think the theater is such a special experience that everybody remembers it. I can remember when, I can't remember which Star Wars film it was, but it was in the early 2000s, maybe 1999. There was one that came and people were dressed up and it was a big special moment. And, I think when you take a moment and you solely just do one thing, when you're paying for a ticket to sit in the theater, you're not going to be on your phone while your TV's on, And this film, I think that's really important because there's so many different moving parts to it. So can you tell us about a little bit more about the storyline and where the story is derived from?
The character itself is from the Book of Revelations. It is the Abaddon. He does have the crowns on his head, and he is one of the 7 people casted down from heaven. Although it's not a religious film, it's just the character itself is from Revelations. And we wanted to make it a thriller/horror film that really is just intriguing. It grabs you from the very first moment of this, of the opening of the film. Mm-hmm. And it's captivating because you don't see too many iconic kind of horror characters out there that really are doing very well, and this is making it unique. Abaddon himself is a character that would be like, I guess he's just very intriguing to everybody out there, and everybody's wanting to know what he looks like. How does he? Does he kill people? So in this Western like cult town, even though it's not a Western movie, it's just out in the desert, country like town. Everybody's a cult, so they're all in it on this together. So to protect Abaddon protects them, and anybody comes into their area, their territory, they get sucked in, sucked down below by the Abaddon. It's
Mhm.
just, it's intriguing story.
How long did it take Eric to, Arik, sorry, to create his just the writing piece of it?
It took from July of 2021 all the way to May of this past year.
Wow. So when were you filming?
We didn't make the movie yet. We're
I
planning on making it early next year sometime.
So then, all right. So you're planning on making it next year, but what about all the awards? Are the awards just for the writing of it?
Yes, that's what's intriguing too by most people. Like, how can you win awards and the film hasn't even been made yet? Well, I mean, we entered it into a lot of screenwriting competitions and it's been winning. We have several more to hear back from. And so just from the writing alone, it's won 7 awards, which is pretty impressive alone.
Wow. It's extremely impressive because all of those awards, it's not like you have had this project for 5, 6 years and they're over the years. This is all in 2022. So
Yeah,
these are like
yes, the
recent
work has been
awards.
happening all in the last maybe 5 or 6 months now. So
That has to be so exciting. So, are you putting the writing of this film into any other chances for it to win more awards? I guess is what I'm trying to ask.
oh yeah, like we plan on, we hope it wins more awards just from the writing, and then when we actually make it, we're hoping it wins a lot of awards too. I mean, we want to go as far as we can with it. I mean, the Independent Spirit Awards would be amazing to make it into just everything. We want to get it into like Sundance, Toronto, maybe even possibly cons if it's, depends on how it turns out in the end. But, a lot of festivals are right for certain movies. So we're hoping ours actually goes pretty far.
Very cool. So the way that this is titled,
Mhm.
where it's Abaddon, the
Mhm.
King of the Locust, it seems like there might be a sequel, or what is the overall vision for how this is?
Yes, you're correct. Our goal was to actually have a trilogy out of it. So there is part one, part two is actually more than halfway already written already. And part three, there's a part three. And then after that, we don't know if we're going to do a prequel or continue making sequels, but definitely part two and three.
And are they all sequential, or how
They're
does
all tied in together.
they are? Oh, how interesting. You know what really caught my eye? I'm not very familiar with the story that this is based off of. So I know Revelations, but I'm not extremely familiar to be able to say, oh wow, okay, I can use my imagination and piece it together. So I started looking at it. Your cast is extremely impressive. I'm going to bring it up to the stream so everybody can see. Tell us a little bit about the casting process.
Well, when we were writing it, we actually had Lorelei Linklater, who's the daughter of Richard Linklater, um, in mind to play one of the main characters in the whole film. She plays Bella, and she's actually not just in the first one; she's also going to be in part two and part three. And she was our focus all along to get her in for that character role. And then, as you can tell, Black Panther actress, she's playing Black Panther in Black Panther 2, Sophia Luco. Sophia Luco also plays a prominent role in this whole film as well, and it's also continuation for her as well. And then let's see here. We also have Kelly Ritter, who's been co-starred with Bruce Willis in a movie. She's been in a number of things. And then, Bryant Smith, who's been in a lot of stuff. Lisa Langwall, she's also She's also in it. She's known for like Happy Birthday to Me and Class of 1984.
Hmm.
And then we also end up getting Alan Hallworth actually wanted a role in this. And he's more composer and post sound effects person for Black Back to the Future movies 2 and 3. He's known for the Halloween movies, and he wanted a role in this. So we're like, okay, we'll give you a role in this one. So he's not just doing the sound; he's doing the music. He's a creative producer on the project, and he's also acting in it.
Wow. Oh, wow. I mean, that's extremely exciting. When you have a full cast of professionals, you can already foresee just how great this project is going to be because there's not a lot of coaching on set, right?
Right, right.
Was that your main goal?
Uh, yes, yeah, it was. But then again, um, we kind of knew who kind of we wanted in this film. Like, it would be perfect. Like Maya Hawke to play one of the roles in there as well. And all these other kind of people that we're not allowed to actually announce yet, but they are going to be coming on board, and everybody knows who they are. And just really cool. We already had them in mind since day one of actually writing it, and we didn't know we would actually be getting them, but it's still coming to light.
So I would love to sort of pick your brain a little bit. There's
Yeah.
a lot of people out there that have wonderful ideas,
Mhm.
wonderful screenplays and scripts, and they want to just dive in and do it, right? It's just
Mhm.
in them. It's got to be in you, got to be part of your being to want to do this because this is hard work. It's not all glitz and glamour to create a project, a movie, a TV show. It's hard work and money. So, what advice can you give to other potential filmmakers or maybe people that are already in pre-production and they just feel like maybe there's a better way to do certain things?
Absolutely. There's always that point in time where they're actually kind of stuck. They don't really know how to dig themselves out of it or where to go. I guess my advice would be, this business is all about relationships and friendships. And you just got to network and meet people, talk to people, and make sure you meet the right people to help you get something made and that you trust. And, that has a positive mindset, just like you do, of trying to get something made and just go full blast. Don't let anybody stop you, put you down, talk negative, because in the long run, you've got everything given to you. You just have to go out there and just make it happen and just
Mhm.
reach out to people. And like I said, network, just start building those relationships because that's what's going to carry you on.
What was that one Achilles heel, or were there multiple?
The what?
Like an Achilles heel. What was the hump that you had to get over possibly in this?
I think the hump would be just not giving up. I think we were at a when you get to the middle part, the hump part, it's like either you give up or you just start just putting everything out there, all your connections, just turning reaching out to the people that either you're afraid to ask or you just go for it and see what happens, because 9 times out of 10 they're going to be interested. If you are interested, you got to be enthusiastic and just all about your project and presenting yourself well with your project to make them interested the very first like 10 seconds, you know? And literally that's what it's all about. It's just trying to get everybody interested in it, getting the word out there, and just going for the whole 9 yards. Just go all the way with it. And don't let
God,
anybody turn you down.
such great advice. I really love your answer because it's 100% right on point. We have a viewer here. He has a question. So Cyrus is asking, curious what got him interested in filming in the horror genre as opposed to others.
Good question. I think the horror films are actually, I wouldn't say they're always cheaper. I mean, cheaper would be like, trauma movies or the low budget kind of movies. But the kind of films I want to make are not those kind of films. I want to make something that's rememberable, that's interesting, that's different. And what really got me started was like I loved. I guess I'm not a huge horror buff, but I do love like the original Halloween movies and the movies that really inspire me to really want to make good movies and not just any kind of movie. I want to just make movies that are just inspire people and like people are like, wow, that's so cool how he did that. That character, how they make that character look like that, like something interesting and captivating at the same time. And horror films are it's so fun to play with because you have unique characters opposed to just a drama or slash comedy. Anybody can just make those, but horrors, just a lot of uniqueness goes into it, whether it's makeup, blood, or which there's no blood in mine, but the makeup that goes into creating characters, the wardrobe, the setting. I mean, the cars, the locations, everything just goes to play in horror film. It's just so intriguing, versus a drama.
Mm-hmm. Interesting. Now, tell me a little bit more about who is this film appropriate for? Because a lot of people hear horror and they think, oh, okay, the kids have to be at least 15, 16, 17 years old, or they're going to have nightmares and they won't go to bed.
No, this is not that type of movie. This
Okay.
is actually one that a teenager definitely could watch. Someone in their early 20s can watch and enjoy it. There is no nudity. There is no sex scenes. There is a little bit of language. So yes, I believe it just anybody like I would say to be say 13 and up.
Okay. Okay. I love that. My commenting on my side is not working, so I'm going around the corner to get our commenting in here. So the film, I just sort of paraphrase. The film is for mature kids and above, no nudity. I mean, that's really good. So a little bit of language. Hey, you know what? There's a little bit of language in so much of just everyday television. A lot of the things that are made for movies, especially PG-13 movies, you get the full gamut. you get a new vocabulary if you're not familiar with bad
I
language.
think a lot of people always think, sex sells, so any kind of nudity always makes the film better, but
Mhm.
really always sometimes doesn't. I guess it depends on who's making it and their vision.
Yeah.
But I want to make it where it's available for multiple people of ages versus just one type of generation.
Right. So, of course, everybody can assume the absolute perfect time of the year for this film to come out is going to be Halloween, October. So, you still have a lot of filming ahead of you,
Mhm.
and you want to release this in 2023.
Yes.
How are you let's talk about how you're going to film to be able to get to that deadline. So are you filming everything like within a few weeks and then try
Well, it's probably going to take about a whole month to shoot this film,
Mhm.
about a whole 4 weeks to shoot this. And then our goal is to shoot it hopefully sometime in the spring or fall. So if we shoot it in the fall, it won't be released until October 2024. But if we shoot it this spring, it will release it by October of this year.
Okay.
And the reason why is because of the locations. You can't, since it's going to be hot in like the desert, humid area. We don't really want to be shooting during the summertime. So it's got to be either spring or fall in order to actually make everything right on time
Right.
for this year or next year.
What is your location for filming?
Well, we are shooting somewhere in California, and it's going to be in the desert.
Okay. All right. Why did you choose to stay in California when there's just some other states that offer percentage, back on total production budget and
Yeah,
incentives?
absolutely. We thought about like Arizona and Nevada and even New Mexico
Mhm.
as an option. But then again, it's like we just kind of trying to think of, well, we have a lot of our cast members and crew people that are actually from California, live in California. They won't have to go so far.
Right.
And putting everybody in a hotel up for that long could be really expensive. So shooting in California would be a great base and a good move for us at the moment. If we shot somewhere else, everybody would have to stay in one location, and it can get pretty pricey at that point.
It certainly can. And is casting still open for any other parts that you have there?
Casting is still open.
Really?
Casting is still open. We have a casting director. It's actually casting this. And then, everything's still, going full blast in whole casting. So can't really not allowed to say who's on board and who's not on board. And, there's roles we're still casting it right now.
Okay. So I'm assuming it's coming through Breakdown Services. And if anyone was interested, they need to get in touch with their manager or agent to be able to get that casting. Or is it available? All right, everybody might not know, but there's two different sides to Breakdown Services. There's Breakdown Services where it's more of the higher end projects and full SAG and all that kind of stuff. And that just goes to the agents. You're not going to be able to find a casting for like Grey's Anatomy or something out there from 1-800-casting or some of the other ones, Actors Access, things like that, that's available to the actual person self-submitting, correct? So this is a film that is not self-submitting. You have to go through your agent.
That's right. It is a SAG project. So
awesome. Well, this just sounds so like I want more pictures. I want more, Dustin.
I know. I would love to show you more once I have them.
Awesome. Well, we've got to have you back on the show because, I want to know how is filming going, or maybe, you film and it's in editing, it's in the can and in editing and post-production. And then, we can have another conversation, but I'm really super excited. And hopefully Arik can come back on the show and we can talk a little bit more about the film and about his writing process. Wow. Yeah. I have so many questions. Like, how did you direct this? And what was it like, in the desert? And it's starting to get really hot, even though it's spring,
I would love to answer those questions after we film. That'd be interesting. I can't really wait to experience all of it.
Right. Well, Dustin, I want to thank you so much for your time today. This was really, really nice conversation. But before I let you go, what else do you have coming in the future?
Right now, I have a SAG web series I'm going to be making next summer called The Tales of the Heebie-Jeebies. And it's kind of a cross between Tales from the Crypt and Stranger Things. Okay. So we're shooting that in the Big Bear area, Big Bear, California. And then I have a couple of short films coming out next year as well. One called Silver Fox. That's getting released in the festival circuit with co-stars Eric Roberts and Lisa Langwall. And then I have another short film called Favorite Son. And that's a thriller/drama. It's going to be released in the festivals next year as well. And then we have one that me and Arik are also working on called Battle Fatigue. And that's actually a war drama.
Okay.
And so, we're working on that one right now as well.
That's really interesting. I believe when I was doing some of my research, I saw Arik is a veteran.
He is a veteran. He served in the military, the Army.
Oh, wow.
He was actually a Ranger, an Army Ranger. It's like basically like a Navy SEAL.
Yeah, they are.
He's a retired Army Ranger, so it's kind of cool.
That's very cool. Yeah, a SEAL might not say so, but in my book, they definitely are. It's special forces, right? So
yes, special forces.
Serious stuff. Well, Dustin, thank you so much. This was really, really nice. And do you have any plans for Thanksgiving?
Just to spend time with my family.
Yeah.
That's all I want to do this Thanksgiving.
Good.
Since I really haven't got to do that much the last few years. I've just been working all kinds of projects. And this time I just really want to enjoy time with family. So,
Well, I hope you have a wonderful time with family. And I'm very thankful that you had a moment to spend some time with us as well.
thank
And
you.
congratulations on everything up to this point and forward, because this is going to be phenomenal.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me on your show.
You're very welcome. All right, we'll see you again soon.
All right. Bye.
Bye. Oh, everybody, I love doing this show. If you're ever interested in being on the show, you can always email us at ecooperstudios@gmail.com. And as always, we are blessed. You are blessed. Have a great Thanksgiving. Mwah. And I love you. I'll see you again soon.